Well, welcome back, everybody. This is Pucks from the Pine Tree Pod, Season 1, Episode 71. I do apologize for the bit of a delay in getting back here on the channel. I think I said this last time, too. It's been a busy couple of weeks. Work has been busy, family has been very, very busy, and been also very busy at the Mariners Hockey Report podcast, where I've been reporting on the Maine Mariners as we are now 7 games in there for our home team. So, want to come back today, have a lot to talk about today, guys. First of all, hope everybody's having just a lovely Tuesday afternoon. The weather out there is phenomenal today for a November Tuesday in Maine, election day. So, if you haven't gone out to vote, get out there and do all of those lovely things. And yeah, hope everybody is having a great day. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of different things today. We're going to talk a little bit about the UMaine hockey programs, take a peek at the Maine Nordiques and where they're at right now. Uh, Obviously, talk a little bit about our Maine Mariners, and we will finish up with the Boston Bruins and a few things to talk about there, I would say, with this group. Let's get into it with our Black Bears. UMaine men currently sitting at 6-0-1, ranked fifth nationally. So they are right back on the national stage. Of course, they've been a top 10 most of the year already. I think they were number 7 last week, winning a couple games there over the weekend. So 6-0-1, 3-0-1 in Hockey East, currently sitting number 1 in the conference. Top performers so far for the group, Harrison Scott, 5 goals, 10 assists for 15 points. Charlie Russell with 3 goals, 8 assists, 11 points. Brandon Holt, 2 goals, 9 assists for 11 points. Taylor McCarr, 4 goals, 6 assists for 10 points. And Thomas Friel with 6 goals, leading the team with 6 goals, 3 assists for 9 points. So really good start for the boys. Upcoming schedule, they have a monster weekend ahead of them, heading down to Chestnut Hill to take on number 2 Boston College Friday night at 7 o'clock, and then Sunday, 1 p.m. afternoon start there. Of course, BC loaded with Boston Bruin prospects. Of course, Steve Latorno, their number 1 draft pick from this year, is there with the Eagles. So this is a beautiful matchup. Of course, number 2 versus number 5. This is going to get a lot of national attention. Again, yes, it's only November, but this is such a great test for the Black Bears. These games should be just absolutely amazing to watch. All sorts of NHL level prospects on both teams. I think if you're UMO, listen, you're 6-0-1, you're 3-0-1 in Hockey East. If you get a split, down there at Chestnut Hill over the weekend, I think that's a good thing. Um, Love to win too, of course, but tough place to play. Very, very tough team. For a lot of people, this is the potential national champion team this year. I certainly will be right there fighting for it. So, man, if you can find a way to get a split, um, I think that would just be awesome for the UMaine Black Bears. And even if you do happen to lose both of these games, how you lose, are you competitive? Are you hanging with these guys? I think will say a lot about this team. I expect these to be 2 just awesome games. Can't wait to check them out. Any UMaine fans going down there to Chestnut Hill? Are you able to get tickets for this game? I'm sure it's going to be a packed house down there for the weekend. Turning the page to the UMaine Lady Black Bears. Currently, they are sitting 2-8-0, 2-4-0 in Hockey East, 5th overall in Hockey East right now. Top performers for the Lady Black Bears: Stephanie Jacob, 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points. Lily Fetch, 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. Sam Morrison, 1 goal, 3 assists for 4 points. And Alyssa Rubble, I think is how you pronounce her name. Apologize if I got that one wrong. 3 goals, no assists for 3 points. Their upcoming schedule, they're actually hosting the BC Eagles Friday and Saturday night up there in Orono. 6 p.m. starts for both of those games. So go check out the girls while the boys are down out of town. Go support the ladies. looking at some metrics, and I have not seen any of their games this year, so I do apologize. I do plan on checking out some of their games this year. But looking at some of the metrics, kind of what's hurting the team right now, face-off circle for them, they are at 41.3% versus 58.7. That's a killer right there. You're basically a 60-40 split on the dot. Not great. Uh, Taking 34 penalties versus 25 for the opponents. So that's a, for this early in the season, that's quite a disparage. You're sitting in the penalty box, killing those penalties a lot more. And your goal differential right now, again, I think all these numbers are kind of interconnected. Your goal differential is minus 19. So you're 10 games in, you're minus 19 already. That's a number you gotta start to correct a little bit if you want to get back up, into the standings. They're getting outshot roughly by about 4 shots per game. So I do think though it all starts with the penalties. If you can start to take fewer penalties, get on the power play a little bit more, at least play more 5-on-5 hockey. The shots, the goal differential, all those things should start to level out for the group. Um, and you again should be able to generate a little bit more. So we'll see if they can turn that corner here. Of course, the BC I think are right above them in the standings, more middle of the pack. So I think this is an opportunity for the Lady Black Bears to right the ship. Hey, if they can get a couple wins against BC, I think that can go a long way for them. Um, hey, if they can get these two, they could be 4-4 in Hockey East. That would not be a bad place for them to be. Moving on to the Maine Nordiques, currently sitting 11-5-1, first in the Eastern Division of the North American Hockey League. Top performers for them, Ethan Longus, 7 goals, 15 assists for 22 points. Shane Kozlina, or Kozlina, I maybe mispronounced that one as well. I do apologize, Shane. 10 goals, 9 assists for 19 points. And Zion Green, 4 goals, 15 assists for 19 points. They've been right at the top of that division all season. They do have home weekend coming up here on the schedule versus the Elmira Aviators up there at the Colisee Friday night at 7:30 and Saturday night at 7 o'clock. So go check those boys out if you're in the greater Lewiston area. I plan on checking out a couple games before the season's out. They've been a very fun, exciting team this year, and hope they can just keep the good going there for themselves. That would be excellent. Moving on to the Maine Mariners, team that I have obviously been following very, very closely this year. Have not missed a game yet. Uh, been to 3 games live, 4 here, just watching on Flow Hockey, which anybody who hasn't taken a look at Flow Hockey, if you're interested in watching, more NCAA games or more AHL or ECHL, go check out flowhockey.com. Yeah, I'm going to give them a plug. They're not sponsoring my show yet, but would gladly take their money if they wanted to be a sponsor. Love the content. You can go back and rewatch games. Just for those hockey junkies out there, it is a perfect website to be part of. So where are we at with the Maine Mariners? Currently sitting 3-4-0 after just a lovely weekend at the Cross Insurance Arena. Currently tied for 6th in the North Division. Of course, it's so early, guys. They're only 3 points out of first place. So, yes, they're kind of at the bottom, but um, working the way back up. A lovely weekend, like I said, 2-0 against the Reading Royals, who were in first place coming into the weekend. Of course, Reading, after Sunday, that was 4 games in 5 nights for them. So they were on a brutal stretch. They think they've lost 4 games in a row now. So Maine kind of hit them at a really good space, in the schedule. But through the 2 games, they had 64 shots on goal versus 42 for Reading. Power play was 1 for 9 on the weekend. That is an area, and I talked about it on the post game pod that I did. A little bit of an area that they still can work on a bit. I do think it's more chemistry based. I think they're generating shots. The energy is there. The shot generation is there. Now it's just getting the execution. They've been so close on so many of these power plays. 1 for 9, you can live with it when you win both games. But I think there's more offense there. And I think you're going to see that power play improve as time goes on. What I liked about the specialty teams this weekend is they only took 4 penalties, killed 3 of them over the 2 games. but they're not taking as many penalties. If you go back to 2 weekends ago where they lost the two games to Norfolk and the one to Worcester Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they took a lot of penalties in those games. And it was just when you're in the box that much, it just flow in the game. You can't get into any sort of rhythm offensively. So I think that the weekend, what that tells you is you're skating in better positions and not getting those stick penalties and those reaching kind of penalties that you get when you're not skating or when you're behind the play. They kept things kind of out in front of them and made it very easy for their goaltenders over the weekend. Of course, winning 3-0 on Saturday and 5-3 on Sunday. So only giving up 3 goals over the two games. Of course, you did have Jason Horvath, defenseman, coming back, played the 2 games. Physical, good, solid defenseman adding to the room, and Brooklyn Kalmakoff coming back as well. Big part of the offense. A lot expected out of Brooklyn this year. So great to see him back on the ice. He had been day to day starting the season, and seeing him back was just absolutely. Still no Christian Sarlo. Another player, of course, he came out of Penn State University, played in 10 games for the Mariners last year, but he's been thought of as a forward that should be a big part of this group. Have not seen him yet. I haven't had a chance to talk to Coach Wallen. Haven't been there working since opening weekend, so not really sure where Sarlo is right now in terms of his health and his availability. But hopefully he can get back soon. He will definitely add to the room, much like Kalmakov has. But what a difference a weekend makes. A week ago they were 1-4. The group was falling in. Everybody was being, fire everybody, fire the coach, fire this, fire that. Ooh, we're 3-4. We're feeling pretty good. Life's okay. Life's okay. Top performers so far for the Mariners: Jacob Hudson, 2 goals with 7 points. Evan Vierling, 2 goals, 5 assists for 7 points as well. Center Carter Johnson, no goals, but 6 assists for 6 points, had 3 assists on Sunday. Really like this guy's game. He is excellent in the faceoff circle. He seems to be out there taking those D zone faceoffs oftentimes. And I don't know what his percentage is. I should probably dig more into that if that number's out there, but I feel like he's probably winning the bulk of his faceoffs. He's very, very good there on the dot. Owen Peterson, 1 goal, 4 assists for 5 points. Patrick Gay, 3 goals, no assists for 3 points. He's starting to cook a little bit. He's again one of those young, exciting newcomers here to the team this year. Former Vegas, I think he was a fifth-round draft pick, and has some AHL experience. And then, of course, Brooklyn Kalmakoff, as we mentioned, coming back for the 2 games, had 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points over the weekend. Man, getting him back, what a difference. So should be fun to see him as he gets kind of get his legs back and get going. Upcoming schedule for the Mariners, of course, Friday night's game at Worcester has been postponed until December 7th. So if you were heading down to Worcester for that Friday night game, change your plans. That game has been postponed. I guess a few issues at the DCU arena that's affecting the ice, but they will maintain and hold the game for Saturday. So they will be back on the ice Saturday night at Worcester, 6:05 puck drop for the only game of the weekend. If you want to hear more of my takes on the Maine Mariners, of course, go check out my podcast, Mariners Hockey Report. It's housed at the Black and Gold Productions YouTube page. You can also find it on Spotify and Apple. Show dedicated to all things Maine Mariners, where I take kind of a deeper dive into the team. So go check that out. I do want to say my next podcast for the Mariners Hockey Report will be out on Thursday evening with special guest, Director of Media Relations and the voice of the Maine Mariners, Mr. Michael Keeley. Lovely to have him joining me this week. Cannot wait for that conversation. So be watching out for that. Oh, all right. Want to talk about the Boston Bruins? Yeah, why not? Let's talk about the Boston Bruins. Why don't we do it? 6-1. currently fourth in the Atlantic Division. How are we feeling today? Going into the weekend again, much like with the Mariners, the sky was falling, right? You get shellacked against Carolina. You bounce back with the shutout there um, against Seattle, and then of course the game against Philly. So two nice wins there for the team to get you back to 500 on the season. Top performers so far. David Pasternak, 6 goals, 5 assists for 11 points. Brad Marchand, 3 goals, 7 assists for 10 points. Elias Lindholm, 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points. And then you got the fourth line, all fourth line boys here. Mark Kastelik, 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 points. Cole Kepke, 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 points. And Johnny Beecher, 2 goals, 4 assists for 6 points. So thank God, truly, thank you, Jesus, for this fourth line because it is has been the backbone of the team so far. Uh, Not sure how bad it would be if we didn't have those boys playing as well as they have. Upcoming schedule, of course, we have tonight. The team is in Toronto, 7 p.m. puck drop. Um, my boy, my boy Parker from Black and Gold is actually going to be there as a media member for Black and Gold Productions tonight. I do believe it's the first time Black and Gold has had a media presence at a visiting barn. So good on Parker. Have fun tonight, and I know you'll have a great time there and do Black and Gold proud. Uh, so Parker's going to be there, but someone else who's not going to be there. That would be Mr. Austin Matthews. Will not be available to the Maple Leafs this evening. Thursday, the team comes home to play Calgary. 7 o'clock puck drop there, and then Saturday we've got Ottawa coming into town for a 7 p.m. Weekend game. First game back for Linus Allmark. Do we get a pregame post hug? Do we get a postgame goalie hug? Like, I gotta see a goalie hug here, man. I've got to see it. I'm kind of thinking you might see something pregame. Both guys out there warming up. You might get a little love tap or a little hug. But I think it would do everybody so much good to get some sort of a goalie hug out of those boys. And I have no doubt you're going to see Allmark in net. And if Allmark's not in net Saturday night, I think we'll all be quite disappointed. I think we're all want to see that matchup. All right, but what do we got here with this team? All sorts of different storylines. And as I was thinking about it, what do we want to talk about today with this team? Hard to look past the last game where she beat Seattle, but David Pasternak was a no-show in the third period. Sat on the bench, kept sitting on the bench, 5 minutes into the period, 8 minutes into the period, 10 minutes into the period. Truth be told, I didn't actually notice that Pasta wasn't on the ice. It was probably with like 8 minutes to go. Um, I kind of was like, I don't know if we've seen Pasta on the ice, and yeah, he was confirmed that he definitely got benched. Coach's decision to sit out the last 20 minutes of that game. Starting to take a look at some of his numbers uh, on the year, 23 giveaways by David. That's fourth in the league. And yes, you have Dougie Hamilton and Nathan McKinnon both in front of him on that list. We know, listen, this is a weird stat, right? Pasta does handle the puck a lot. And this is a number that you do tend to see many top players near the top of that list just because of how much you handle the puck, right? That's why you see McKinnon and Hamilton both up there. But like many others have already said, it's not about the number of giveaways for David Pastrnak. No, it's more about the timing of the giveaways, more the context of the game. Like when is he giving the puck away? Too often, much like last game against Seattle, yeah, you end up getting that win, but the team, you end up losing the puck at just really bad times, key times. And personally though, I love the fact that Coach Montgomery did this, not catering to the stars. This is what accountability looks like. It's what it should look like. And really good for the whole team to see that even a star like David Pastrnak isn't beyond being held accountable. Pasta's a pro. I'm sure he's gonna, be the first to tell you he needs to be better. He needs to be more effective. I do expect to see a very much dialed in David Pastrnak tonight up there in Toronto. I'll be surprised otherwise. But yeah, he hasn't looked good. Yeah, he's leading the team in scoring, but it just doesn't seem like the same explosive Pasta that we're used to. And the giveaways, yes, they've always been there in his game, but it does seem to be a little bit problematic right now. And again, good on Monty for saying, you know what, enough's enough. You're sitting on the bench. We'll see what we see tonight. Again, hopeful to see. I'd love to see Pasta put up like, 2 goals and a couple helpers tonight. That would be great. He's got that in his game. He hasn't had a real big game like that this year. This would be a great spot for it. Moving on, some great news. Tyler Johnson, finally, finally, we get him signed. So he is joining the Boston Bruins, having come in on the PTO during the fall, during preseason. Quite honestly, I'm not sure what took so long to get this done. As the team was scuffling, it was very clear that, man, the team could use somebody like a Tyler Johnson. Oh, wait, he's hanging out in Boston? Oh, he's not signed? Oh, maybe we should sign him. What a novel idea that would be, right? Um, so yeah, they finally get it done. Once Tuffy got sent down, the money was there for this to happen. So I mean, I'm just glad it finally got done. Listen, Johnson, he did play well in the preseason. Given his veteran status, he appeared to play really well with many different teammates and many different line combinations. I think he can be a bit of a Swiss Army knife for the club. Can play up and down the lineup as needed. Um, Not so unlike Danton Heinen from a year ago. I believe you're going to see him playing. I believe Monty said Freddie and Patra tonight, so I think that's where he's going to start, and I like that. I think it will give those young guys, especially Patra, that core veteran presence that I think he needs out there. And I won't be shocked to see Johnson get some time up there, in the top six, getting some minutes up there with those boys. And don't be surprised if you see him on that second power play unit. I just think he's got a veteran presence. He's a bit of a goal scorer. No doubt Monty's going to move him around and find that right combination for him. And I really like the fit for him. I really like the fit for the team. Of course, he's not going to solve every problem that Boston has right now, but I do think he elevates the room and he's going to elevate the play on the ice. So I think good all around there for Boston. So with Johnson coming on board, of course, we are going to have some line changes. It has been a story this year, though. Monty's never been shy of changing lines, but my question here is it too many line changes too often? Are we just seeing too much of it? And I guess my short answer, or my short opinion is yes, too much, too often. Um, and, before the last 2 games, yeah, listen, the team just really appeared disjointed. They felt disconnected and it just looked like a mess. So, okay, Monty, I understand why he's been moving players all around and trying to change things up because really beyond practice time, it's one of the very few things a coach can do to make changes and to try to find chemistry. But truth be told, when you look back, I mean, look at that Carolina game. I mean, nothing went right. Those lines, nothing worked. Not much worked at all, whether it be the Carolina game or before that. So over the past couple of games, of course, you've seen more of the lines and the defensive pairings that we thought we would see, and you are starting to see it gel a little bit. I just hope that Monty's going to let this breathe a little bit. I do think with more ice time, with these same lines staying together, you might just see more chemistry follow that. Yes, Johnson being added in, you're going to have to shift things around a little bit. Um, Again, I think he's going to fit in quite well wherever you put him. So I understand making some adjustments. I understand the team was scuffling, struggling. I just think you had too many line changes too quickly. And I go back, not to beat a dead horse, but let's go back to game 5 2 years ago against Florida. You lose that game in overtime, and you remember how you started that game. You were line combinations that had never played together all year. Of course, you had uh, Bergeron and Krejci both coming back into the lineup that night. But man, he just kind of put the lines in a blender and thought, "Oh, I'm up 3 games to 1. We can play around." And it took him about half the game. They finally got the lines back to normal, but too little, too late. This is I like Monty. I really do. He's a UMaine guy, UMaine legend. Um, like him as a coach a lot. I think this is one area where I think he dabbles a little too much with these line changers. I just want to see him get him set, let these But these guys get it figured out. Let them build some chemistry, some rapport together out there on the ice. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Talk about the defense a little bit. I think this is worth a conversation. Um, is the team defense, the concept, is it starting to come back together after back to back, shutouts here? Um, is it coming? Again, this has looked better since the Carolina game. Uh, Anything would look better after the Carolina game, truth be told, but it has looked better over the last 2 games. And when I talk about the defense, it's not just the defensive players, pairings that I'm talking about, it's the entire team defensive approach here. The forwards have a big responsibility here too. Through much of this season, though, we haven't seen the Bruins aggressively manning up to puck carriers. They've played way more passive, too often just allowing the opponents easy entries into the ozone. Uh, I feel like they've been playing for chase, far too often, much like I, chase my little guy around. It's kind of how the Bruins have felt like defensively, not skating hard, um, again, chasing too much, making these kind of soft flyby plays on the puck. You saw Potch do that, I think in that Carolina game. Not going to pick on him because everybody played bad that night, but just seeing too many of these kind of just weak attempts, yeah, weak attempts on the puck carriers or trying to win puck battles, which of course, when you play like that, it's going to lead to all these penalty issues that they've been experiencing. Last couple games, you've seen the Bruins take a harder physical approach, more contested entries, getting back to that kind of hard to play against, style that the team has often been described as. Let's hope we see more of this because they have the bodies to play hard and physical. It was a major tenor of the offseason. I mean, this was an approach the Bruins took. Let's go get bigger. Let's go get more physical. And they are one of the biggest defensive groups in the league. And man, they got to start playing like it. They started to this weekend. Let's keep it going because you're going to have to. This has to be an identity of the team, in my opinion. May not really fit with Monty's coaching style necessarily, but you built the team to be big, to be physical. Damn it, go play like it. Go play like it. I liked a lot of what I saw the last couple of games. We got to see more of it. Let's talk about specialty teams. Where are we at with the special teams? We're currently coming into today for the power play. Currently, the Brewers are at number 25 in the league, sitting at 14.8%. Obviously, not a great number, not where you want to be. If you want to be a playoff team, you've got to be way better than that. But it did look better the last couple of nights. They were moving the puck a lot quicker. They were a little less predictable with their movements. Entries into the zone were better. They were getting more shots. They need to continue down this road. You see it when it's bad, they're overthinking. They're dusting the puck off 2 or 3 different times before making a pass. You got to stop doing those things. Stop overthinking. Stop dusting that puck off. Move the puck. Just keep moving it. Keep moving it. Watch some of these other power plays out there. Watch Colorado. Watch Vegas. Watch Winnipeg. Watch the New Jersey Devils. Watch their power play. See how they do it. The puck is zipping. It's zip, 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 zip. The Rangers typically have a very good power play like this, but it's just the puck is moving. You got to move the puck fast. You got to get the defense moving around to open up those lanes. And that's what these other teams do. It seems very simple, but man, the Bruins, it just seems like they've tripped over this time and time again. And this year, just off to such a bad start. Saw some progress this weekend. You saw, Monty kind of change it up a little bit with some different players and some different positions. You saw again better entries. You saw the puck moving quite a bit better. You gotta do more of that. So let's hope for more progress. On the PK right now, they are currently at 17th in the league, 78.6%. As we've described, areas of improvement over the last 2 games. We've also seen, a major decline in penalties taken over the last 2 games. So that's been good to see. It's kind of like, if you play the game the right way, play hard, play physical, skate hard, make the second, make the third efforts consistently. Hmm, you don't take as many penalties. Interesting idea, right? You think about all the ways this team has struggled with, just being behind the play and not really skating, not, Monty called it out, not making the second and third efforts, you're going to get into penalty trouble. And that's exactly what we've seen throughout most of the season. Last couple games, much, much better, much improved. So, in playing this way, you're going to be in better positions on the ice. You're not going to be reaching, you're not going to be grabbing. So, therefore, you're not committing these dumb and poorly timed penalties. This continues to be an area of concern, despite what we saw over the weekend. And it's something we need to keep an eye on. Definitely has to improve. Continue to play as a team, as you have, like you did over the weekend. And, time in the box should continue to come down, um, putting less pressure on your defensive units, putting less pressure on your goalie, and getting more of that 5-on-5 play absolutely needs to happen. Just as I was coming on to record, some news from Elliot Friedman, Max Jones, Florida Max Jones has been put on waivers. So we'll see what happens there. I would be shocked if he's claimed. I have no doubt he will pass through waivers. Um, yeah, not surprised here. Have not been impressed with his game. I think I said it a couple weeks ago when I was on. I was kind of all set with the Max Jones experiment here. You like the size. There's some things about his game you like, but man, it just did not translate on the ice here at all. So wish him well. I imagine he ends up making his way to Providence, and we'll see where it goes from there. Of course, Bruins tonight in Toronto. They have won 8 straight regular season games against the Leafs. Do we see that trend continue tonight? Toronto, as I mentioned, is going to be without the services of Austin Matthews, but there's still a ton of firepower on this club. You can never take this team lightly. We know that these matchups, they tend to be one goal games, oftentimes overtime games coming right down to the wire. Typically, a team that makes, that extra play here or there, they're usually really tight in the game. So it should be a lot of fun to watch tonight. So that's what we have for today, guys. Thank you, as always, for watching and listening. And thank you for your patience with me. It has been a little while since I've been back with you. But if you do like what you're hearing here, please don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button down below. Definitely appreciate it. Love the growth on the channel. And until next time, be kind, show love, and God bless.